I've hosted hundreds of events over the years, both in-person events and more recently as virtual events. In this short video, I'm going to give you 7 tips to dramatically increase the impact and engagement of your next virtual event hosting assignment. Now I'm focusing here on the small but important things that you can do as a host, a panelist, a guest, or even just an attendee at any online meeting or catch-up, be it from your office or from your home. So let's get cracking with lights, camera, and action. Lighting. I'm still amazed at the people who don't bother to set up some simple lighting. It really helps. It helps even if you're just having a weekly catch up with your team or your family, but it's vital if you're hosting or emceeing an event. But it doesn't have to cost anything. Try setting yourself up facing a window and let the natural light coming in illuminate the space. But never do it round the other way, as the light will wash out the entire picture. The next step up, you can even just use a couple of desk lamps strategically placed on either side, and that is better than nothing. If you do have a little bit of money to spend, I suggest investing in a couple of softbox lights. Now these are dead cheap. You can get them online and they'll be delivered in a week, and they are very flexible around your space. And once you see the dramatic improvement a little bit of lighting can do, the next step up is to get some LED panels or perhaps a ring light, but you don't need it. The idea here is to start small, but act now. Cameras. Now I don't care if you're using a webcam or a fancy camera or just the camera built into your laptop, but whatever you do, look at the camera. Don't look at the screen. Now, a couple of ways to get around this is you can use a post-it note next to the camera. You can put a couple of little eyes to remind you to be looking there, or you can use some arrows plastered onto your screen to make sure you look at the camera. It really does increase the engagement. Now, if you've got a big screen, a big monitor and a small webcam, consider mounting it in front of the screen. You don't really need to use your screen much during a Zoom call, and that will really increase the engagement. If you're using a camera, consider mounting it just above and make sure you look up there. But if you do start practicing that, it will really increase your engagement and the attention that other people will give you. Action. Now this is a little bit more subtle, but it's important to keep your energy levels up, especially when you are hosting. Now it's quite tricky at virtual events because you don't get the instant feedback that you do at an in-person event, and depending on the meeting platform that you're using, you may not even be able to see the participants. So keep the energy levels up and it will really increase the engagement. And it's a bit of a leap of faith when you start. So be confident, be big, and be bold. But there's also a problem with too much energy and moving around. If you start shifting around in your place too much, the camera's autofocus might start shifting around. You might get noises from your chair. You might move on and off the microphone, which will cause the sound levels to move up and down. So try and be still, but with big energy. Let's talk about sound for a moment, both incoming sound and outgoing sound. Firstly, get rid of the big headphones. A, they're not a great look, and B, you don't need high quality foldback when you're on a Zoom meeting or a Microsoft Teams meeting. I just use some simple earbuds and they blend into my suit that I'm usually wearing and you can't see them. You may need to use a dongle to connect it to your laptop or to your computer. Otherwise you can use the AirPods wirelessly connecting. So think about that. But picking up your voice is another matter and is much more important, especially if you are hosting the event. Now webcams do come with an internal microphone, but you're usually some way away from the microphone and it's usually not very good. So it will tend to pick up a lot of extraneous noise from the space that you are in. So getting an extra microphone, an external microphone, is a good first step for creating better sound and therefore better engagement. Let's look at some options. You can use the integrated microphone on some earbuds, but it's a little bit fiddly, and I'm sure you've all seen the people doing the microphone dance. A USB microphone is a good option, and most of these are just plug and play, as the name suggests. The Blue Yeti is very popular, as are the Rode Range. As I say, mostly plug and play, so quite a good choice, and you'll notice a dramatic difference straight away. Alternatively, if you come from an entertainment background, you may already have a stage microphone, a Shure or a Sennheiser like this. And if you've got that and it creates good sound, it's well worth just working out an interface between that and your computer. You may need an audio interface. I use the Scarlett by Focusrite to get my sound into there when I'm using one of those. Another option is a video microphone. Rode makes some great ones for these. I've got one happening right now, and I'll show you some pictures of those. And they're set up a little way away pointing at you, and that they used on cameras. So well worth a small investment to get a better sound quality. It's often said that people will put up with bad picture quality if the information is good, but they won't put up with bad sound, and so that's why it's worth your attention. Now, before I give you the last and most important tip, if you've had any benefit from this video up till now, would you please hit the like button? It really helps us. And subscribe to the channel there in the corner, and join the nearly 20,000 other people who subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. We do try and answer every single question that comes in. And finally, the most important tip of all, and it's a question to you. What's your backup plan? What are you going to do if things go pear-shaped? Let me tell you a story. A few months ago, I was hosting a very important online event. 60 minutes before it was due to start, my webcam was not working. Now, I'd checked it obviously the night before, and it was working fine. I'd checked it on my laptop, and it was working fine there as well. But 60 minutes to go, and it wasn't. No worries, I thought. I'll switch to my laptop. I took the webcam, put it on the laptop. It wasn't working there either. Time's ticking, tick, tick, tick. So I then thought, well, I'll use my backup webcam. I have two, and this is the one I used to use. It's not such a great picture, but it would work. It would be adequate. It wasn't working on the desktop. It wasn't working on the laptop. I ended up using my wife's computer, the internal camera on that. It went fine. I worked out finally what the situation was. Overnight, my security software had done an update, and it had turned off access to the webcams on both cameras. But you must think through what to do in these different situations. Here's a bit of a checklist for you. If you are the host, it's important that you have a backup plan in place, and preferably two of them, a triple redundancy. So think about these things. What happens if the internet goes down? What happens if there's a power cut at your house? What happens if you have some computer problems? And also, have you got the passwords and logins necessary to switch to another computer at a moment's notice? And also, have you got the ability to contact your boss, your client, or the organizer of the event on a different channel, either via Messenger or SMS, if things go wrong and you need to discuss what to do? The well-prepared host has thought through all of these things so they know what to do. But importantly, it will also give you the confidence that you can cope with any emergency, and therefore you will do a better job as an MC. Hey, that's all we've got. Why don't you watch one of these other videos that are coming up right now?